Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Arjun, and it's been a while since I've done a video. It's been like 3 weeks since I put out my last video. So I'm back now. I'm gonna start making videos. I've just been really busy lately, so I couldn't make videos for anything. But a week ago, I saw the movie RRR. This was one of my most anticipated movies this year. I mentioned it. I think it was in my top 5 in my most anticipated video. I was really excited to watch this movie. I didn't get a chance to review it, even though I saw it a few days ago. But I'm going to review it now. So before I tell you guys what I thought about RRR, let me know down in the comments. If you have seen the movie, what did you think about it? If you haven't seen it yet, have you heard of it? Have you been excited for it? I'd love to know your thoughts. With that said, I'm going to get started talking about RRR because to me, this was one of my most anticipated movies this year because recently I've been very disappointed by most recent Bollywood, Tollywood, and just Indian movies in general. I've been watching them, and some of them have been really good, but they haven't really been like top tier movies for me, and some of them have been mostly really disappointing. So I've been excited for this one because this is from the director of the Bahubali movies, which both of them I really love. So I was really excited to see that, and I was hoping that this one would kind of bring movies back to form. So I was excited to see what he was going to do with this film and see if he's going to like outdo Bahubali maybe, and maybe this movie is going to be better than that. So I was excited for all those reasons, and honestly, I really loved this movie. I was so excited for it, and my excitement really paid off. The big reason for that is because Rajamouli, the director, knew exactly what he was doing with this movie. He had a clear vision, and he was going to execute that vision, and I think it worked out really, really well. Most movies have a lot of different ideas, but they don't know how to put them together. So for that reason, it just feels incoherent. This movie knows what it's doing, and it's able to be focused on its story. And even though you have all these different big storylines going on about the British obviously taking over India and stuff, really the guiding force and really the main story of this movie is about friendship with our main two characters. And I think the movie is really able to explore that while also telling this big story about the British taking over India and freedom fighters and stuff. So I really loved how that was executed in this movie. So that's one of the big reasons why I've been disappointed by most recent Indian movies, but this movie really delivered on that level. Now, because the whole movie is really surrounding this core friendship, I think the movie has some really nice emotional moments. I think there's some really good acting moments. There's some great music. And really, the emotions in this movie is what made it up. Like, I know a lot of people are talking about the action. I know a lot of people are talking about the cool effects and the different sequences and the chase sequences. Really, the heart of this movie is with this friendship, and I think that friendship really worked out really well between our main two characters, of course played by NTR and Ram Charan. I think both of them did a really good job with their performances, and I could really buy into their friendship. So really, the entire movie, because it's about these two characters, because I like them so much, I think the entire movie really worked for me. Both of their performances are great, and the way Rajamouli is able to explore their differences in characters, and it just feels really emotional, and at times it's very tense because of that reason, because really the movie is about them going head to head against each other. So for that reason, it pulls out the emotions, and I think it did a really good job of that. Now, I also really like the character introductions for both of these characters. I'm not going to spoil anything, but both of them are really action sequences, and both of them are so good. Every action scene in this movie is amazing, but both of their introductions is really what made me feel like we're finally getting good action, because I haven't seen action like this in a movie in a very long time. Like, even Hollywood movies, I like the action in them, but the action here I just thought was really, really well done. And because movies now have a lot of shaky cam and quick cuts, so you can't really see what the action's going on. One of the exceptions for that is, of course, the Batman. I really love the action in the Batman. But here, you have this movie that has long takes. It has really good cinematography, I guess, for the action sequences. So whenever you see an action scene happening, you can actually see what's going on, and it's really tense, and it's just done so well. And I think a big reason for that is Rajamouli's direction, because even in the Bahubali movies, the action is really good. But if I'm going to be honest, I think the action in this movie is elevated compared to Bahubali, because although that movie has more epic and grand war sequences, I think the cinematography, the style, the choreography of the action is actually better in this movie. And especially the first action scene with Ram Charan, I think that action scene might be one of the best action scenes I've ever seen in a very long time. So I absolutely loved that. Like I mentioned, the cinematography during the action scenes is great, but even in the other scenes, the movie has really good cinematography. I think on a visual level, it looks really, really great. It's a really good looking movie, and I really noticed that in the trailers, but in the movie, seeing it on a big screen, I thought was really cool. The aspect ratio is also a little bit different, which I thought was a really nice touch because it made it feel different from other movies that are coming out today. There's also some really cool ideas on a thematic level, but also just on a technical level that they execute really well. So on a technical level, I think this movie overall is really good. The music, cinematography, camera work, action, all that stuff I thought was really, really well done. And like I said, just the ideas, the way they were executed on screen were great. There were cool ideas, but if you don't execute the ideas right, it doesn't matter how cool they are, it's gonna fail. But I think Rajamouli did a really good job of executing everything he wanted. This movie had emotions, it had great action, great characters, and overall it just delivered on a great experience for me. And I'm so glad I got to check this out in the theater because it's really the type of movie you want to watch in the theater with the big action sequences and stuff, but also the music, the technical stuff, the cinematography. I thought all of it was great. Now, as much as I'm praising this movie, I do have some small problems with it. They're not a big deal. I don't think they make the movie bad or anything. It's just some small issues that I think could have been better. Now, the CGI in the movie is not very good. The visual effects, like for some of the animals and the fight scenes, they're just not as good as I would like them to be. And it's not because they're bad. I think they're pretty good because the movie doesn't have the highest budget. It's not a Hollywood movie, so it doesn't have a very big budget. So for that reason, I understand why they weren't able to completely make everything look realistic. But I think the CGI could have been better if they worked on it a little bit more and maybe if it had a little bit more of a budget. But really, it's not the movie's fault because, again, it didn't have a Hollywood budget. But I just wish that the CGI and visual effects were a little better because at times it did kind of pull me out of the movie. I also have some problems with the pacing of the movie. It's a very long movie. It's like over 3 hours long. It's like three hours and 4 minutes or something. I think the movie could have been shorter. I think if they cut out like 15 to 20 minutes from the movie, not too much, just 15 to 20 minutes, I think it could have been more of a brisk paced movie and it would have moved much faster. So I thought at times the movie was a bit too slow. And it's not that I don't want the emotion sequences. Like I said, I thought the emotions and the friendship, the story of the movie is the best parts. It's not just the action sequences. So for that reason, I don't want them to cut the whole thing out. I just think if they cut out like 15 to 20 minutes, overall it would have made for a better movie. There's also some flashbacks and stuff, which I think sometimes went on for a little too long. I thought they were good for the story, but I feel like those flashbacks could have just been at the beginning of the movie. And when we watched it in order, I think it would have made more sense. So I thought structurally, the movie could have been slightly better with the flashbacks and stuff. But overall, I was fine with it. It wasn't too distracting from the movie. But really, that's all the issues I have with the movie. Some of the CGI, a little bit of the structure, the flashbacks and stuff. And I thought at times it was a little too slow. But overall, I thought this was a great movie. I had a really good time watching it. And I cannot wait to see it again. I don't know when I'm going to see it again. I probably won't rewatch it in theaters. But still, I thought it was really, really good. And it's, to me, right now, other than The Batman, probably my favorite movie of this year. I really, really enjoyed it. And I cannot wait to see what Rajamouli does next. Because with Bahubali, this movie, I just thought he's been on a roll lately, and I love this movie so much. With all that being said, I'm gonna give this movie an A-. I might bump it up to an A on rewatch, or just maybe I'll like some certain things more on rewatch. But still, I thought it was an A-. I thought it was really, really good. On an entertainment scale, it's a 9 out of 10. A big reason for the entertainment value for me is the action sequences and the emotional stuff. So I really love this movie. I cannot wait to check it out again. And if you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend it. Even if you don't watch Bollywood and Tollywood movies or just Indian movies in general, I think this is one you have to watch because it really does feel like a Hollywood movie as far as the budget and stuff goes. And it just feels like a grand scale movie, which I have not seen really from most Hollywood movies recently. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. I think it's great. I think a lot of people will really like it. So give this movie a shot. I thought it was really good. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. If you have seen RRR, let me know down in the comments, what did you think about it? If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more content. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.